My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Welcome, and a happy South Lake Monday morning. Look, I know a bunch of you are home today. Your kids are home, you're home. If you're watching me, thank you very much for choosing us. Look, we are not going to talk about Corona today. I think we have all been inundated, so just so you know, today is going to be a break. We may refer to some things during the interview that are affecting our guests, but in general, we are not talking about the virus. So we do have a great show for you. I opened my play this weekend. We're going to talk about that. Jay had a chance to come see. I'm sure he has some opinions. We are going to talk about The Poor Player, which is also me, because I figured this section would take a long time. So this is going to be for our first 2 sections today. On Cup of Joe today, we're going to talk about journaling. And this might be a great time for you to get into a journal because you may have some extra time on your hands. And finally, we are bringing on our guests, I should say. We are joined today by the U.S. Navy Sea Cadet Corps. We're joined by their commanding officer, by 2 of the cadets, Kurt. Boy, I'm gonna mess this up. Shendal and Brianna Apena. I probably butchered those names. Please forgive me. When we get back, we'll make sure that they get it right when we bring them on. I'll see you in just a minute. We're gonna go to a commercial break. When we get back, we'll get started. Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors.
Life is better when you're smiling. At Modern Orthodontics, Dr. Alan Wong has changed thousands of lives, helping patients achieve the modern smile with braces and clear aligners. Utilizing digital scanning technology, Modern Orthodontics creates in-office 3D models for clearly modern aligners. Modern Orthodontics is conveniently located in Clermont, Apopka, and Bushnell. Call or text us to schedule your free exam and create your modern smile today.
My name is Michael Singh, Agency Principal of Singh Insurance and Financial Services. We offer auto insurance, home insurance, and life insurance. Our office number is 352-432-1646, and you can also check us out on our website at www.singhinsurancegroup.com.
And welcome back. Man, I got to tell you, it's good to be sitting in the seat. I actually had a good night's sleep last night. Last week was what is referred to as Tech Week, and in the field, in the industry of theater, Tech Week can be known as Hell Week because it is long rehearsals, and they are day after day after day. Normally in the lead up to the show, you are rehearsing 3-4 days a week in a community theater setting. Well, in the last month, 6 weeks, it's been 4 days a week. And then, in addition to my other jobs. And then last week was every single night, starting last Sunday. It has been a tiring process, but we got the show open. And just to remind you, the name of the show is the Farndale Avenue Housing Estates Ladies Dramatic Society's presentation of Macbeth. It is a play about an English community theater group producing Macbeth. I play the humble frustrated producer, David Plummer. So it was a lot of fun. We got open. I think Jay's bringing this up now to show you, just to remind you, this is the poster. We are on for several weeks. There we go. We have several more performances. Currently scheduled, let me tell you too, the house department went through and disinfected the entire theater. They have wiped down every seat with Clorox. They have sprayed every cushion part of the seat with Lysol. The bathrooms have been disinfected. And the beauty is our space actually has about 125 seats. And what that means is you're not in a large crowd for danger of infection. As of yet, we have not been asked to shut down. And typically, too, we haven't had many full houses. It's a little bit of an obscure show, so there's plenty of room. And one of the directions we've given people actually is that once we get the show started, they can separate a little bit if it's really bothering them. We've had plenty of room. So I encourage you, come on out. If you want something to do, you got time on your hands, Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon at 2:30. Afternoon show at 2:30 is a good time. Well, they're all a good time, but you probably get a little more space on the Sunday afternoon show. And then we have the following weekend. We're playing again Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So come on out and see us. So now we open it up to Jay. What'd you think, Jay?
Joe, I loved it. I loved the play. I think you did a great job, too. You can tell that Joe has professional training in the theater. That's for sure. He stands out in the show. He really holds it together. I think his character actually, after I got a chance to go back and think about it after I watched it, your character actually really keeps the show going. You have to see it. It's a satire, number one. People have to understand that. It's total satire, but it's really funny once you realize what's going on. And then once the characters slowly figure out what's going on, then it gets even funnier. I thought it was a great play, and I really enjoyed it. I sat front row. I didn't want to miss anything, and it was great. I think Joe can move, man. Joe can move. He can be on from one side of that stage to the other in like 5 seconds while dancing and talking and singing sometimes. I mean, it's wild. It's a good show.
It's quite hilarious, I'm sure. Actually, the night Jay came, I didn't even know he's literally. It's a black box theater, so the audience is really, really close. I mean, you are part of the show, and I didn't see him sitting there until the most nerve-wracking portion for me, actually, and thankfully I didn't mess it up.
You held it together, man.
I did hold it together that night, so I had to specifically not look at him though, because I knew if I looked at him that it was all over. I was gonna crack up or freeze or something. So, good. I think you have something special for us, don't you, Jay? Do you have that? Did you upload that?
I don't know that I uploaded it. I'll figure that out. Let me figure that out for you.
We'll figure that out. I gotta say, that I tell you a couple of perspectives. All the people I'm in the show with are really, really sweet. And I shared this a little bit that, I entered into this lark because I was going to have some fun and had not quite thought through the amount of time and energy it took. I am honestly looking forward to this week because we don't have rehearsals. We just have the performances, getting that 4 hours a night back, which means I can, start focusing on my real estate business a little bit. He's going to be able to show this. Are you going to be able to show that? We might show that another day.
I might show that a different day.
Yeah, we'll upload that and show that a different day. Jay got a nice piece of my dancing, a few pictures we might show later on. So I'm grateful to have this time back. And, when it's all over, I'm going to be a little down, right? Because it's been fun. And these are people I've built some relationship with. They're all sweet, ages ranging from 14 to me, and so it's been great. People from, one of the things I really like about the theater is how it brings together people of all different religious, political, all sorts of backgrounds and ideas and thought processes, ages. It doesn't matter. You're all on one goal: get the show done. And it was great to take part again, to trod the boards, as we say, and get that performance fix. As a performer, it gets in your blood. It's certainly in my blood, and I'd like to get a fix every now and then. And this just kind of happened. It just kind of came together. So I'm grateful to have done it. And I will continue to be the poor player that struts and frets and struts his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more, or at least not on that stage. So, the Moonlight Players, too, I want to say real quick, and we'll talk about this more later in the week, is a organization, total volunteers, is much like the symphony. You know, the arts in our area is not as prolific as it probably should be. Two organizations really put it forward is the Symphony and Moonlight Players. They could certainly, if you're looking for a place to spend your arts dollar, you want to take part in the arts or help support it. These are two great organizations that certainly you can have a great impact on your community and on the lives of people around you. So there's nothing more beautiful than seeing or hearing something beautiful. We all need, I like to think we were doing the show that we gave people an escape from the world around them for this weekend. You know, for 2 hours, you can come in and for $15-20, you can just forget about Corona. So, all right. Anything else on that, Jay? All right, moving on. Journaling. Look, journaling has been, and I've shared this before. I could do a whole hour show on journaling, and maybe Jay and I will work that out sometime. Not a Joe Knows South Lake, but just a show on journaling, an educational show. Journaling has been so important in my life, and there was a time where my life needed to change, and probably the greatest tool that was given to me out of that time period was a method to journal that wasn't just me pouring my whining complaints onto a page, which is what always gave me a problem with journaling before. And so I have a method of doing it, and I'm going to teach you the method I have. In my particular case, it's the way to hear from God. Okay, and you know, we all say, you know, wouldn't it be nice if God could talk back? But he does, and he can talk to you through your journal. Now, I believe in God and Jesus. Don't dismiss journaling just because I'm talking about God and Jesus. Find whatever your thing is and listen to it. And here's the thing. We have 5 different steps, and I'm going to try to cover them one each day this week. But the first step in my journaling, when I sit down on it, and I'm talking about daily journaling now, when I sit down to journal, the first thing I do is write down what I'm grateful for, is make a list of at least 3 things that are happening in my life that happened yesterday, this morning, that I'm looking forward to, or things that I think God is going to do for me. I list at least 3 things. I try to fill my first half page with gratitude. And that's step 1. Look, everything in your life, if you want your life to change, to be better, if you want your life to have any meaning at all, you need to start with gratitude. Let me tell you what, when your kids come up to you, they can say, hey, I want X. Or they can say, you know, Dad, thanks for all you do. Can I have X, please? You know, the gratitude goes a long way to me reaching deep in my pocket and trying to get my kids what they need. Doesn't mean I don't always want to, but it sure motivates me a little better. And I think our Father in heaven is the same way. So, and even if you're not going to journal, starting each day with a little bit of gratitude will change your perspective. Look, the world is blowing up around us. But I'm grateful for my wife's beautiful blue eyes, and for the health of my children, and the health of my granddaughter, and the health of Jay and his beautiful beloved wife Samantha and his son, and the health of Miss Doris and Miss Linda who came out to see me. I am grateful for the people. I'm grateful for the cadets and for Gary Schindel. And for Gary Schindel, who brought these kids out here on an early morning when the world is going crazy. Look, if you start your day with gratitude, you can never, ever, ever go wrong. And you just might find yourself like Joe, looking forward to Mondays. All right, that's enough of that. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about confession. And so that's going to be the next step in my journaling process. So we're going to go to commercial break. When we get back, I'm going to have Gary Schindel and let me see. I believe I have the first cadet we're going to have on is Brianna Apena. And we're going to go. When we get back, they'll be with us. I'll see you in a minute. Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors.
"50 West, pre-leasing now in Clermont. A first-of-its-kind commercial development in the Southeast. Contact us today to reserve your spot in this historic development. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Punn at 403-4165. Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767. Or visit lease at 50west.com.
Check out these gourmet deals from Burger Clermont, like our daily deals. Milkshake specials. Kids eat free. That's right, kids 10 and under eat free every Monday with purchase of an adult combo. Choose from delicious protein combos like beef, chicken, lamb, fish, veggie, and even the Impossible Burger. Milkshakes are buy one get one free Monday through Friday from 2 to 5 p.m. Stop into Burger Clermont today to take advantage of our daily deals, like the Monday Crispy Chicken Combo, the Tuesday Falafel Combo, the Wednesday Angus Beef Combo, and the Thursday Spanish Beef Combo. Gourmet deals from Burger Clermont, located just off Highway 27 and the Epic Theater Shopping Plaza. Burger millions of possibilities, endless combinations.
Are you tired of having drugs or alcohol ruin your life? Do you need to get off pain pills but still maintain pain relief? My office in Tavares has programs to help you. While not covered by insurance, program fees are affordable. My name is Alan Zupp, board certified, and have helped thousands of patients achieve these goals. Please call me for further information.
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. And welcome back. Look, I am so glad to have... We're doing something new today. We're having two guests on the shot at the same time. Now, when we did Farndale, we switched guests out. We knew a little bit of that today, but we're trying something new. I am joined by the U.S. Navy Sea Cadet Corps today. This is Lieutenant Junior Grade Gary Schindel.
Yes.
Okay, Gary Schindel and Brianna LaPena.
Yes, sir.
All right, I managed to read it and get it correct. Let's see if I can stay with that. You are a Chief Petty Officer? No, what is your rank?
PO3, Assistant Petty Officer.
Spell that out. Remember, jarhead, thick skull bones.
Petty Officer 3rd Class is my rank, and in the battalion, I'm the Assistant Leading Petty Officer. So it's Chief, someone, the LPO, and then me.
Okay, great. Third in command, that's a good thing. I just want to say, I met these guys a couple of times, actually. The first time I saw them was at a Christmas event.
The Heroes for
The
Helpers.
Heroes for Helpers. And then I saw you recently at the Ambassador Chamber Breakfast.
Correct.
And that was when I finally pinned them down and got them scheduled. And I want to give a great big shout out. My mind isn't working. She's watching. We're not going to put her on.
To Debbie Stewart.
To Debbie Stewart.
She's our events coordinator.
For coordinating this last minute. She didn't get the memo that he had been scheduled. So, look, let's get right into it. Tell us, what is the U.S. Navy Sea Cadet Corps?
All right. First of all, thank you very much for giving us a time slot here to share who we are. The Sea Cadets are a federally chartered Navy youth development program. So we are officially under the umbrella of the United States Navy, more specifically under the umbrella of their civilian arm, the Navy League, and they are the ones that help fund a lot of our summer trainings and advanced trainings. But we are a localized unit. We're sponsored by Chief Broadway. and the Clermont Police Department. Actually, we've kind of embraced by the entire city. It's been wonderful. Darren Gray is former Navy man, so he was right on board when we started and proposed this. But so that's how we are, or who we are.
I knew there was something off about it. No, I'm just kidding.
Here come the Marine Navy. Look out.
That's that Marine Navy banter.
So, but that's who we are. We're a youth program open from ages 10 to high school graduation, and we have grown significantly here in the local Clermont South Lake community, and we're doing very well.
Again, I think it's so important that many times in today's world, even though we've fought a war for a terribly long time, that I know when I was growing up, the need for exposing military life, military purpose to the younger generation has become somewhat lost.
It's not so much that the military side. I agree with you, but what we do is and the Marine Corps has got the same tenets. The three cornerstones is honor, courage, and commitment, and you don't find that in a lot of other places these days. So it is really our mission and our charter, and we are a community service-based organization by charter. But to instill honor, courage, and commitment into the youth that we serve in this community, and that goes from you make a commitment into this program. You're going to wear a regulation haircut. You're going to wear the Navy uniform properly. You're going to show up. You're going to be all the things that are required. And yes, it comes out of the military, so to speak, but it instills in them the function, the discipline that they need, which will form a foundation for the rest of their lives.
Now, you've actually said something that I think kind of segues into something we were talking about earlier. This is not a place for bad kids. People are not sentenced to the Cadet Corps, right?
Correct. This is not a rehab facility, or so to speak. It is an area that you have to want to be here because the commitment is clear, and we have the parents and the kids both sign an agreement at the beginning when they come in after the interview, and they interview with retired Navy personnel, with law enforcement officers, and you have to be interviewed and you have to be accepted into the program because there's a certain commitment that goes along with that. And if they're not willing to make that commitment, we had one young man come in and he didn't want to cut his hair, and I thought, well, if your hair is more important than your future, you don't belong in this program. That's pretty much what it boils down to.
There's some truth to that, right? It's one of the tenets of the military is, there's something is priorities. Is there may be things more important than the individual,
Yeah.
And from my own experience, that's the whole point of boot camp. Right, is to break down your individualistic thinking so that you can be an individual member of a team that all has the same goal and the same purpose.
Petty Officer LaPena actually just came back from staffing another boot camp this winter. She's gone through that experience not only as a cadet but also as a staff cadet, which means she is supervising others within that training.
So just to stay clear, I'm sure you deal with the perception that your program and boot camp, when they talk about boot camp for kids, be sentenced there instead of jail. You're talking Navy boot camp.
How to make your bed, how to polish your shoes, how to get up at 4 a.m. and do PT. That's
I was sharing with somebody just yesterday that even as a guy, I got out of the Corps a million years ago, and today when I wear a dress shirt and a belt, I have to have
your gig line.
The gig line, and that's just it's something that just doesn't go away. You get to the place where you think about it, and it just. I go to a restroom and then I look at myself in the mirror washing my hands. I'm like, I got to adjust that, right? Can't be seen hands in pockets. I don't stand with my hands in my pockets. So these are things that most people don't learn until they go to boot camp and they're 18, 19, 20 years old. How old are you?
14.
You're 14 years old. How long have you been in the...
For about almost 3 years.
Now, you were telling me earlier about why you joined. You had no interest in the military, right?
No. When I first joined, it was because my brother was a plank owner of the unit when it first opened up. And
he was a what?
A plank owner.
That's what we call those that are first assigned to a ship that's being launched or a unit that's being started. They become plank holders.
Plank holders. All right.
So
Navy term.
Then their graduation came and I did not want to go. I was like, Mom, why do I have to go to this? I don't want to go.
How old were you at the time?
11.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go, no interest. I was like, this is boring, like whatever. And then we got in the car and she said something to me and I was like, that's easy. Like I can do that. Like it's not a big deal. It's whatever. So then it was kind of like a competition between me and my brother, and I joined, and then things happened and he left, and now I'm...
How old was he?
He's a year older than me.
Oh, so he was doing something and you were going to show him he wasn't going to do anything that you couldn't do. All right, so that's why you got in, but that's not why you stayed.
No, I stayed because it exposed me to a lot of great things, and discipline, respect. It's taught me a whole bunch of lessons, and I've met a whole bunch of great people, and I've met SEAL Team 8 at SEAL Muster and summer trainings. There's a whole bunch of culinary, photography, drone training. Like, there's just so many things to do, and it just intrigues me every time.
It sounds like at a very young age. Are you in high school yet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It sounds at a very young age that you've been exposed actually to the wide range of the Navy. And I would assume Marine Corps as well. I mean, because they may chap them a little bit, but Marines are part of the Department of the Navy.
Yes,
we do rely on them for transport quite a bit,
and medical services.
And medical services, right? I have a. Excuse me. Thought I'd shut that off. We're gonna get rid of that robocall. But it sounds like you've been exposed to this at a very young age. How do you find your perspective is different than maybe other kids you go to school with?
Other kids I go to school with, they do sports, and I do sports is fun, but they're setting themselves up for like a career, and they haven't really been exposed to anything like this. They don't have any respect for teachers or discipline for anything. So I feel like with this program, it's setting up my future and the path that I want to go on, and I know what I want to do, and I have just a great way to go in the future. And they're just in high school enjoying their time, not really thinking about what they want to do or how they're going to do it, and this program really shows me like how I can manage where I want to be in the future.
Do you find it gives you a little different perspective? I mean, do you see other kids doing things and then think, I'm part of the Corps, I can't engage in that kind of activity, or
Yes.
or think maybe it's dumb, you have a hard time seeing the purpose of it?
Yes.
Whatever they're doing?
Yes.
So we are the greatest gang in the world, right? We have our uniforms, we got our signs, we got our signals, we got all that stuff, and that's what we joke about. If you want to join a gang, join the Navy, because we got it all.
Do you know, when I got out of the Marine Corps and I went to college, I went to rush weeks for the party.
Right.
And I can remember a couple of fraternities wanting me to join them, and I was like, I already belong, to the most popular fraternity in the world. Doesn't matter what you're going to do, you'll never achieve our accomplishments.
Exactly.
So good job, good luck. I can remember thinking, I'll run your initiation for you, though.
Exactly.
You'll come out with a hard class. So you've been to boot camp.
Yes, I went to RT
We
last.
call it recruit training, RT, yeah.
Now, it's not full boot camp. Is it full boot camp, or
It's
is it
14
like
days.
it's an adjust? So it's a program that the Navy has put together for the Cadet Corps to give you an idea of what the people who actually join the Navy when they get out of school go through. Correct? How was that?
I went last winter. It was I don't want to say it was fun, because it shouldn't have been fun, but there was a lot of classes and things to learn about. There was a lot of physical training to do and swim quals, and so it really exposed me to the basics of what I need to know for Sea Cadets, and it set me up on a path for the rest of Sea Cadets. Now I know all the basic knowledge. Now I know how to shine my shoes properly and roll my sleeves, and yeah.
Now,
her mother will tell you that before she left for boot camp, her room was a disaster area. When she came back from boot camp, she can now see the floor in
it's
her room.
completely different.
She came back.
Again, it's perspective,
different-
right? It's you go and you say, "Wow, I'd never get away with this elsewhere," right? When you went to boot camp, how many people were in your boot camp?
A lot. It was
Hundreds.
So
hundreds.
I assume then you got to meet a lot of kids from all over the nation.
Yeah, not even just for recruit training. Just there's a whole bunch of units everywhere in the world. You can go anywhere. There's trainings everywhere.
And you guys have all sorts of events and things like that
Yes.
that you get to attend and things like that.
And some of the trainings, for example, you'll speak with our chief petty officer later, but he went to Master at Arms training up at Kings Bay Naval Base, and he was working with the Marines up there who do the security for the
Right.
nuclear submarines. So our kids are actually fully embedded with the Marines at a place like Kings Bay. we'll tell you some more of his trainings. But that's the summer trainings that we go through, and that is available to these kids, and they go anywhere in the United States.
What was your biggest challenge? What do you think your biggest challenge is? Obviously, you're successful. You don't get to be third in command if you're not. But nothing comes easy to anybody in reality. What has been your biggest challenge with the cadets?
With the cadets, my biggest challenge is probably, since I've been ranking up and earning my spot, is getting the respect that, since I've ranked up, getting the respect that I deserve for earning my rank and doing all the things that I need to get my rank. So
how have you dealt with that?
At first I was a squad leader, so I had my own little female squad with about 8 or 9 females. And then they noticed that I had, since they're all friends, so they all talk, and so I was nice to them, and I let them know that I'm here, I can be here as a person, but you also need to respect me, and there's a time and a place, and there's a switch when you can talk to me and when there's a time to be serious. And so I kind of just let the cadets know I have a switch, that you can come and talk to me whenever you need anything, but also there's the time to be serious.
Well, Brianna, whether you end up in the military or not, that's called leadership, and that will stay with you for the rest of your life. I am sure. You're an amazing young lady now, but I am absolutely sure that by the time you're 21, 22, you are going to be an incredible young woman. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for your willingness to even try and look at something that's not quite necessary. I don't even want to say not in the norm, but not in the box, for stepping out of the box. Okay. So we're going to go to commercial break. When we get back, we're going to be joined by the Chief Petty Officer in place of Brianna. Gary is still going to, Lieutenant J.G. Schindel. It's been a long time since I had to use honorifics, right? He's still going to join us. When we get back, we're going to hear some more about the Navy Sea Cadets. See you in a minute. Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors.
Your CBD store Clermont provides a wide range of high-quality, full and broad-spectrum CBD products. Topical creams, tinctures, water solubles, edibles, and even CBD products for your pets. From soil to oil, your CBD store Clermont sources and provides third-party lab tests for all products so that you know exactly what you're getting. Stop by your CBD store Clermont today to speak with one of our knowledgeable staff members to find the right CBD product for you.
Life is better when you're smiling. At Modern Orthodontics, Dr. Alan Wong has changed thousands of lives, helping patients achieve the modern smile with braces and clear aligners. Utilizing digital scanning technology, Modern Orthodontics creates in-office 3D models for clearly modern aligners. Modern Orthodontics is conveniently located in Clermont, Apopka, and Bushnell. Call or text us to schedule your free exam and create your modern smile today.
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. And we are back. Once again, we are joined by Lieutenant Junior Grade Gary Schindel and his son, Chief Petty Officer Kurt Schindel. It is Chief Petty Officer, right? Chief Petty Officer Kurt Schindel. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be kicking under the table.
That's all right. Yeah, that's... Okay. We heard a little bit from Brianna. You are... What is your position in the...
So out of all the cadets, I am the highest rank.
So you're the highest ranking cadet?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been doing this?
Been in the program for about 6 years.
How old are you?
I'm 16, so I started when I was 10. And
right when you could?
Yep, I started another unit. And then when we started Clermont Battalion, I switched over to this unit.
So obviously you have the same last name. It is because you're related.
Yes, sir.
Did you do it because Dad was doing it, or did Dad do it because you were doing it?
So I joined, and he joined a little bit after me.
So you saw the need for leaders and stuff like that.
I was still volunteering with the fire department at the time. I didn't have full commitment to able to give to two, but he joined based on the recommendation of a friend of ours, and then it was kind of cool. And then it's like, why not? And so now, something we could do together.
One of the things that I'd like to get back to your story a little bit. You were a volunteer firefighter.
Yes.
For
40 years.
For 40 years. So this isn't something, you weren't in the Navy. Were you in the military at all?
No.
We were actually talking about family histories, and their family fought in World War II on the other side. But Gary's dad had one of those great American stories of of being an immigrant and coming here and doing well and creating a business and providing jobs and providing a life for his children and his grandchildren, at least setting you up with the character to have those things. Exactly what we want to hear when we talk about people coming over. And I think one of the cool, unique things about that is, he was in, you said the Luftwaffe, right? 17-year-old, probably drafted at the end of the war, if I'd imagine.
Wasn't given much choice.
Yeah. 17-year-old drafted at the end of the war when Germany was starting to fail. They were really scraping the barrel with old men and young men. But he was able to parlay that, into coming to an American. And I think the neat perspective of that is that you're here honoring one of the greatest military forces in the history of the world, and that says an awful lot. Tell us why, with no military background, why you would do something like this.
Well, I mean, the fire department also has had relatively speaking, a paramilitary organization, right? You have chain of command, you have uniforms, you have all the discipline, and
keep your hair the right.
Exactly. So it was not a foreign concept to me, but. Most important, it was something I could do with my son. I mean, he can only do so much with the fire prevention things I did with Clermont. I mean, so this was something really that, I gravitated to because it's something we could do together. We could grow in this program together. And it's been very cool. And we have a lot of other parents, I mean, as with Petty Officer LaPena, her mom is involved. We have other parents who are involved as their kids are in the program. I mean, we are solely dependent on volunteers for the help, and some have kids and some don't. But it's a neat thing that we can do stuff together, and the result of the kid is usually pretty good.
Do the volunteers tend to run the entire gamut, or do they tend to lean mostly towards veterans? I mean,
they run the full spectrum. We have people who have never been in the military at all, or the fire department, or anything else, or just parents. And we have so many billets available and so many slots available that we can fill them all. But we also have retired Navy captains and commanders, and one of our the gentleman that runs our color guard, he's a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer, happens to be a Clermont law enforcement officer as well. So, I mean, we've got them from pretty much every segment that's helping out.
It's actually kind of cool to hear that in especially in the volunteer area, that you have a lot of cross into things like the fire department and the police department. I mean, I know the police department is your sponsor, but still, the fact that you have people stepping up from those places and again, pouring in, I think this kind of a thing is important in today's youth to get them to understand. And so often, I think people make the mistake, there seems to be a bad connotation to the paramilitary youth organization. And I mean, there's nothing para about it. It's a military youth organization.
It is,
but it's not.
The uniforms say USN on it.
Right.
So I mean, it's.
But it's not a force for any kind of indoctrination.
Not at all.
I'm sure your volunteers span the gamut of political beliefs and religious beliefs and everything.
Yeah, we don't care.
Because this is about. Are you going to be there for the kids?
It's that, and it's really what it boils down to. And as long as they understand that these are the guidelines with which we have to operate, then we're good with that. I don't care what you believe personally or do outside of your house. You know what? It's for the kids. And if you can't do it for the kids, you got no place in the program.
So let me ask you, why did you get involved? I asked Brianna this question.
So I originally got involved because of the opportunities. I've been to so many trainings. I've been to...
Well, specify opportunities. Did you want to travel? Did you want to be with some other kids?
So it was a mix. I mean, of course, it was the trainings because I've been to Georgia. I've been to Master at Arms training in Georgia, which was basically military police training. I've been to California for Petty Officer Leadership Academy.
The Marines
training.
think different, don't they?
A little bit. Just a smidgen. But,
just a smidgen.
I've also been to Utah, and I did a UAS training, Unmanned Aerial Systems training, and we learned how our military uses drones, how they're applied, different things like that. I do Sea Cadets now because I have accrued all of this knowledge. I do Sea Cadets now so I can at least give that knowledge. I'm the chief, I am in charge of other cadets, but that means I can also mentor and tutor other cadets that are younger who are just starting.
So what has been your greatest challenge?
My greatest challenge is probably when I acquire my rank. When you're a different rank, you have different responsibilities, you're held accountable for more. And it's also being around different cadets. When I was an ALPO, or Assistant Lead Petty Officer, I can be a little bit closer to my cadets. I could be a little bit more friends. But now that I'm a chief, I have to hold myself to a higher standard. I can't really joke around and mess around with other cadets. I have to be their leader, because if I am not their leader, the entire chain of command falls.
You know, that's such a great point. And the reality is, the military, while we don't like to face it all the time, the whole point is to kill people and break things. You know, and sometimes to accomplish that, you need to order people into danger. And I'm sure the police deal with this a lot too.
And the
fire department. Yep. You know, when you're in command, you have to have a certain distance, because you might have to go ask somebody to do something you might not come back from. So, do they ever like impress upon you the reality of that as you move up through the ranks? Or do they save that for when you actually get in the service?
That's more something we save because, again, this is not a recruiting effort. What it is so those who choose to go into the program will, for example, in the Navy, if they do go to Great Lakes Naval Training Center, they'll go up 2 ranks higher. So for those who are interested in going to the Navy, this truly is a stepping stone. We have one young man who graduated this past May, went to Great Lakes and went to Master at Arms training in San Antonio, and he's now stationed in Bahrain. And he's 19 years old, and he's up for petty officer promotion already because he upped by 2 ranks because he was in the Sea Cadet program. So this program's got a slot for everybody. All right, this one over here has no desire to go in the military. He wants to be an aerospace
actually, that was
engineer.
my next question. Is you're 16 years old, and as of yet, you have no plans to go into the military. You're telling me you have no desire to go into the military.
So the Sea Cadets actually kind of made that choice, because before I joined Sea Cadets, like, oh, the military is a pretty cool thing, but the whole military lifestyle in itself, I can do trainings for a week, I can be a chief. That's no problem with me. But when it comes to the whole military lifestyle, constant 24/7,
you just don't think you could live it?
I just don't find that enjoyable. I want to be able to live my life, do what I want to do without that military structure. And that's something that I've come to learn through Sea Cadets.
So what's next for Kurt?
Hopefully off to college, maybe engineering, colonize Mars, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, we got a Space Force now. Maybe it's not the Navy. Maybe you need to join a different military.
Maybe.
What is next for the Sea Cadet? Now, we had talked a little bit about the corona has affected your funds a little bit because you had a big fundraiser. Tell us about that.
So we as a unit are 100% locally funded for our day-to-day operations, whether it's buying our uniforms or buying tents or whatever, making us mobile so we can do various things. So the national headquarters pays for like the summer trainings and big trainings and that kind of stuff. So, but for locally, we are dependent on sole source local funding. The Navy League chapter of Central Florida has an annual 5K, 10K race that they run down at Baldwin Park. The funds from that have historically been funneled down to not only the Sea Cadets but the ROTC programs, and their umbrella covers about 21 or 22 different youth programs that are between ROTC and Sea Cadets. They've just canceled or more than likely will today, we'll find out definitively, cancel that race.
Makes sense. Social distancing.
So it is one of those things that's a byproduct. So, that's going to hurt us in terms of some of the annual revenue that we rely on. We look for corporate sponsors, which we've been blessed by a number of them. Disney also has a volunteers program that if you volunteer with an organization, Disney will match your hours of volunteering with some money that we've helped in the past. So I don't know if that'll stick around based on their financials.
That's only for Disney employees.
That's for
right?
Disney employees, correct. So we're looking for through the Chamber of Commerce as well, somebody else maybe who can step up and It doesn't have to be a lot, but somebody who can step up. And the Kiwanis Club has been good to us. Rotary's Club has been good to us. So we're not screaming for money, but we are looking towards the future. And my responsibility as commanding officer for budgeting, I can foresee us becoming a little short by the end of this year with knowing what we have to do, because we're onboarding new cadets. We have at least five in the waiting list right now that we're onboarding this summer. And again, we've got 4 or 5 different uniforms. We have to put them in the dress whites. We've got to put them in these, or the replacement of these now, the Type 3s, the BDUs, all the PT gear and everything that sends up. We also have a scholarship program that we established for those who are financially maybe not able to send their kid up to Georgia or to another place. So we have funds now set aside from donations who can help those kids go. We have another donation where 2 kids, where he went to Utah last year, we're going to send 2 kids, all expenses paid, to Utah to go to unmanned aerial systems training and field operations training.
So what is your general cost per cadet? I'm assuming if somebody wants to join, what is the cost per cadet?
Well, we charge, I think it's $295 per cadet onboarding fee. All right, 100 of that goes to national headquarters for processing.
Is that per year, or
no,
just that's a one-time
the
charge?
The renewal is less. I think the renewal is about $150, I believe now.
So there's a commitment.
Oh yeah.
But you provide a lot of scholarships too.
And we do. The Sea Cadets provide scholarships. The Navy League provides scholarships. We had one young man who graduated 2 years ago. He got a full ride engineering scholarship at the University of North Florida for $180,000. All right, so with the ROTC program, that was a Marine Corps scholarship actually.
So there's a reason to do this. Beyond
it opens
there are
doors.
all sorts of opportunities. I'm always telling people, don't tell me you can't go to school. Right. If you're willing to do the work, you can get a college education in the United States.
Absolutely, and it doesn't have to cost as much as people let on. So if I may just add one more thing. Mm-hmm. So these kids from day one earn their ribbons. We call them the chest candy, right, that they're wearing. But every one of those is an accomplishment. Nobody in the Sea Cadet program gives you anything. Everything is earned. And it's earned through coursework, which they have to do. It's earned through training. It's earned through working within the battalion. Everything is earned. Right? It's academic achievement. There's PRT ribbons. But when they're done with our program, they'll have a service jacket. I mean, his service jacket is about this thick already because he's been in it that long. And that is your resume to college. What have you done before you went to college? Here, look.
Yeah. You simply cull through that.
Yeah, I mean, and it means, and again, being a leader, they will look immediately at the fact that we're not going to have to teach this kid how to be a leader or how to be disciplined or have focus or courage and commitment. Because you know what? He's got 8 years or 10 years of this already on a service jacket. So
today's world, that might work against you. That's a whole nother show.
No.
We're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
It will help him.
So, all right. Well, I really want to say thank you. Look into this camera here and tell if people want to get involved, if they want to help out or they feel like they want to provide a corporate sponsorship, please look right into there and tell people how to get in touch with you.
All right. So we are locally based, and we'll look at anybody who wants to come around from the West Orange or South Lake area, which is our kind of our pool of service that we give, Groveland, Mascot, all of that. So we have the ClermontBattalion.com is our website, or you can send an email to our personnel officer at PO@ClermontBattalion.com. Battalion's 2 T's, 1 L. I was sort of make that myself to get that squared away. But those are the 2 avenues to, or you can even go down to the police department and they'll give you some information. They've got stuff up in the front desk area. But we would love to have adult volunteers. We'd like to have guest speakers who have experience, such as you, to talk about the real world experiences in various different disciplines. So it's a great program, and anybody and everybody's welcome to come see us.
Gary, thank you very much. Kurt, thank you. Brianna, thank you. Thank you, Deb. I really appreciate people who come out and support the show. This is a very important topic, our youth. You know how much I think that our youth is part of the community that so often is forgotten. Obviously, I've shown you 2 people who are giving of their time, of their energy, of their finances to make a difference in the world and to dedicate themselves to something other than themselves. So, if you know somebody who should be a guest on Joe Knows South Lake, reach out to me. The information is there. I would love to talk to them. If you know somebody who is not branding their business, if you are not branding your business on South Lake TV, you should be. You're missing the boat. And finally, I'd like to remind you that as these people are using their greatness to bring out the greatness in others, there is greatness inside of you. I encourage you today, use your greatness to bring out the greatness in someone else. Touch a life and change the world. You may never see the change, but it'll change nonetheless. This has been Joe Carlisle and the U.S. Navy Sea Cadet Corps on Joe Knows South Lake. I will see you tomorrow, and I love you. Bye-bye. My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake.